Kyle Hollis of Picturesque, my dude. Congratulations on your new album. Do you feel okay? What's going
Thanks,
on, man?
man.
How are you, brother?
Doing well. How are you?
Good, good, good. How's everything been during this unfortunate time with the quarantine and this global pandemic? How have you been? How have you been keeping
Uh,
yourself busy?
at the beginning of it, I was really busy. I work in IT, and the company that I work for works for a local hospital, and we were setting up COVID clinics. So it was basically like at like 110 the whole time, or like at the beginning of everything in like January and February, but then finally got laid off whenever they put all the projects on hold. So just kind of coasting now, just playing some video games, and yeah.
Yeah, you're also just constantly streaming on Twitch, which is cool as fuck. You're playing Call of Duty Warzone. Everybody's starting to
Yeah.
get into that and shit. Yeah, I miss
Yeah.
those days, man. I mean, Modern Warfare is my shit when it
Yeah.
first came out, and I was constantly playing it all day. I wish I had stopped though. I wish I didn't stop playing Halo 3 because we got to a rank of
Oh,
like 48, 49 in doubles,
true.
and then fucking we were like, Modern Warfare is too good. We should just play this. And then when we took that like immediate hiatus from playing Halo, we went back to it.
Mhm.
We sucked so bad. I was like, oh, we're so close to 50.
True.
Like,
I never got into Halo. Like Cole and I, whenever our first drummer, we had an apartment at one point, and we only had an X, like the OG Xbox, and we had to figure out like how to get Xbox Live, and went through this weird like thing trying to find like a card so that you could activate it on eBay. And anyway, but so that was like the only game we had, and I just never was super into Halo. Like it's nothing but just bouncing around like you're, I don't know. It was just too weird to me.
yeah, it was a good cult game, like a cult classic.
Yeah.
Like everybody was just so hyped. I mean, I think that just sold Microsoft in general. That
Yeah.
game alone, because then eventually they bought the game from Bungie, and then it became Microsoft's game after that. And then Bungie started coming out with Destiny, which everybody's still hooked into. I mean, I'm not hooked into it that much as a lot of people, but I still think
Yeah.
it's a good concept coming from what they previously had and everything.
Still
Um,
never played it. I've always been like a Call of Duty dude. I don't know why. I don't want the super sci-fi stuff in all my shooters. Unless it's Borderlands, I'm kind of enjoying that one, but other than that, I just like all the shooters I want to actually be like military based and
yeah,
not too far fetched.
but not Apex though, because I mean, although it's military, there's a little bit of like sci-fi to it in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wasn't into it.
Yeah, that's a
So
genre that blew up too. Like the I don't even know I forget what it's called. I can't remember. But it's one of those things that you just have one life and they just keep going. Yeah. So
yeah.
I mean, when this whole pandemic started, when did you guys get word? Like, so what was the decision that was made to stop the tour with Secrets? Did it come from the label? Did it come from you guys first? Because I know it was a domino effect once everything started
Yeah.
coming into play.
I mean, it was just the right call. We said something about it early on, like that it was coming, and then we just had to wait for Secrets to get the approval on it. But honestly, we probably would have canceled if that was the case, because like I said, I worked in healthcare as IT, and just seeing it every day, it was pretty intense, everything that was going on. So it was
Mm-hmm.
just inevitable with everything that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was actually between the two bands that we decided it. So
And nothing was stopping the release of the album.
no, I mean, because we've had the record done since like March of last year, and
Mm-hmm.
so we just been sitting on it, and it was time. So
Yeah.
we kind of just had to roll it out.
I remember hearing something from Circa. I forget which member it was, but they were actually gonna start bringing in all of their roadies, the buses for the 10-year anniversary for Blue Sky Noise,
Hmm.
and they didn't really cancel anything until because they're in Pennsylvania. I'm in Pennsylvania as well, so they
Yeah,
didn't cancel anything until the school started shutting down. Once the school started shutting down, which they're done for the year, like they're not going back to
yeah,
school, then they guys just pulled that plug too. I mean, it's just our industry is affected as much as everybody else, but I don't think it's gonna change for a while. It seems the speculations are gonna come out where it's like, because my band Poeta had to cancel a couple shows too, just weekenders. But
hmm,
it seems like the speculations are gonna come out too as like maybe we won't see live shows until 2021. Like, get the
probably
fuck
not,
out of
man.
here. Yeah, like
It's
that's crazy.
it's fucking gnarly. What's your Twitch thing, real quick, by the way?
It's the Limelight podcast.
The Limelight podcast. I was trying to find it so I could like queue it up just in case anybody like posts some stuff in.
Oh yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, put more people
Yeah,
in the chat and stuff. Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Thankfully, like all of the all of the handles for every social media was basically mine. In the
Nice.
beginning, like I didn't actually have the Instagram yet, I didn't have the Twitter yet, and then I started I was like, I'm just gonna start pulling this because I was doing it for my own personals,
Mhm.
and then I was like, oh, they're here. Then I got a comment from some guy. I mean, I don't know who he was, but he said, "You stole my idea. This was my idea." I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, how many ideas are out there that people can just jump onto and say, like, I had that idea, but I just never went forward with it?
Well, if you
Like,
never went for it, then it's not your idea anymore.
yeah,
So
I mean, I don't know you, my guy. Like,
yeah,
you're a complete stranger to me. So what the fuck? That's
uh,
crazy. Yeah,
just jealous, you know.
Yeah, we had a couple shows. I mean, it's just it's crazy times. I'm glad you're staying safe. Has writing been an idea with Picturesque in during this situation, or
I mean, like I
have you
said,
guys been hooking up?
the record's been done for like a year, so like there's more demos and stuff that have already been like created. We just never stop because if you do, it's just like you have to do it all at once, and it's not as fun. It's not as fun of a process. As far as us getting together and writing, we haven't done that yet. Just haven't found the time along with the release and everything else that's going on. But I'm sure it's going to happen sooner than later. We've talked about doing a few different things, like maybe a deluxe edition or doing an EP during all this. We don't know, but it's all speculation right now. We don't really have an idea of what's going on. Just trying to keep like Spotify numbers up and everything, so that like if this is a long haul thing, that we at least have some form of revenue coming in, because dude, like right before the last tour, we bought an RV so that we could like tour comfortably, got one tour into it, and now no touring is a thing. So like we're still trying to like pay that off, and so like all the streaming stuff really helps, and we're just really trying to push that right now. But if we get more music out, I think it's just going to keep our numbers going up. So
yeah, God bless you. Yeah, it seems like it's just the investment's there for that tour, but
yeah.
everything came.
Well, I mean, like with
circle.
everything we had lined up, like we were gonna pay it off within the next like tour, essentially. So it was like on the Secrets tour, we probably would have paid it off, and it wouldn't have been a thing. But it is what it is now.
Yeah, I know. How stoked were you when you guys signed to Equal Vision? I mean, that's the alumni. I mean, you can obviously tell there's inspiration from like not only like your vocals, but the band in itself. Like like it's like Circa or Coheed or any of those along those lines. Like, how was that feeling? Like, how did you guys come up with that connection? That must have been pretty relieving. When it's like, oh, cool, the career is starting right now. Like, we're going.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool. The cool thing about it was we pitched to several different labels, got an offer back from all of them, but Equal Vision was the only one that actually like flew out to watch us play. So Dan flew out to our first show, so just kind of made us feel like we were at home, and that we would actually be able to have a personal relationship with the label. Since then, the majority of the label has left. Dan's still there, of course, which he's wonderful, but. Yeah, dude, we were on cloud nine whenever we got all that, because, of course, recording a record's expensive, and promoting it is even more expensive. Come to find out. So, yeah, we were stoked.
Yeah, it's not a lot of opportunities that local bands or underground bands can really get. Like off the first bat, usually it takes a couple bands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure you were in a couple of bands before Picturesque, trying to get out there.
No comment.
It's just I don't know. Dude, I've hopped from bands to bands to bands to bands.
Yeah.
Like even different genres too. Like I mean, if I enjoy it, I'm gonna play that in that band.
Yeah,
I'm doing it because I love it. But it's like if I see a band that has potential, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna invest my time in these guys or
For
girls,
sure.
whoever's in my band.
Well, and the thing is, like, you're investing in the dudes just as much as you're investing in the music, and that's one thing that like we were all really fortunate with. Like we're all except for Jade from like Northeast Arkansas, and Zach's technically Southern Missouri, but like by a few feet. And so like we all just kind of come from the same background, but just not too far apart. And like the scene there at one point was really kind of kicking. It was cool, but we just all decided, like we all became friends and then just kept playing music together. And honestly, like I just don't see how bands that don't have like a common bond and stuff, like how that's just a thing. Because dude, it's rough being on the road or like riding and having disagreements and then like trying to not stay pissy with everybody over stupid shit like that.
Mhm.
Like if these weren't my boys, you know, it'd be different. I totally forgot what we were talking about and just went on a rant, but my bad.
That's what podcasts are. We're literally just like having one of those like in-depth conversations because it's one of those things that I knew when I was hopping from band to band there was an expiration date. For some reason, I just knew. I was like, okay, like there's no way they're gonna be moving more forward with this. So
and that's never a good feeling, man. Like if you're hopping from band to band and you feel like there's an expiration date, like then that's not the band you need to be in. Like 100%. Like exactly. I think you were onto something because like with these dudes, I don't see an expiration date, and we're all kind of just in it together until it ends. And if it ends, then whatever. Like we're still gonna hang, still gonna be dudes.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I'm thankful for that gut feeling. Real quick recap, like the band I'm in now, Poeta, signed to CI Records. Once we released our debut album, within I think like that summer we went on Warped Tour for 11 days, and like you know what I mean. Like I just like I knew that was the band. I knew that was right. And and when we first started playing shows like locally, because we were just so late to the scene, it was already basically formulated. There's already a community, which was cool. So it was very welcoming to come in there. And our vocalist has the same range with like Claudio Sanchez, and I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. You know what I mean? And when I first heard you guys, like you guys also had comparisons with like Sleeping with Sirens or a Skylit Drive. Like is that like I'm sure was that a huge compliment? I mean, I'm sure you know like hey, like my range is there for
like I listened to like Skylit Drive whenever I was like a kiddo. Sleeping with Sirens like was one of those. It was like a weird thing to where in Lexington they played once, and one of my old bands played with them, and it was just like one of those what the fuck is even going on type of thing. So like you just try to dive into it and figure out like why is this band like interesting to you. But like I listened to some of their first records and stuff, but I just don't keep up with any of it now. But yeah, they were influences at one point, like whenever I retaught myself to sing, because I used to just yell in a band, which is weird. But yeah, I spaced again. I do this a lot. This is going to be like a rotating theme to where I just space and totally forget what we're talking about. So just a heads up.
Just going one to the next. I mean, you're streaming for hours, right? I mean, you're for Twitch for when you're playing, like you're you're usually going to like probably 3 o'clock in the morning or something. Jesus Christ, you know what I mean?
Recently we've been shutting down at like 5 a.m. Like, which is kind of like it's stupid, but
no, because you have people watching, bro. You know what I mean? Like
that's true. And one of the cool things was one of the days, like there was a gal from Australia that like hopped on, which obviously the server didn't work well for her since it's a U.S. server. But she like hopped on to play with us, and it's like, wait, what time is it there? She's like 6 p.m. It's like, oh god, why am I still up? Like that's the other side of the world.
And you see the sun coming through your blinds, like fucking Christ.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, it's been fun because like I'm bad at social media, and so one of the cool things is like doing Twitch. Like it's not like a high pressure thing because I'm just sitting there like playing video games with some fans, or like now I've got like a crew of dudes that I'm running with that like some of them started out as fans, but like Anthony for instance is like that's one of the dudes that I always like look for whenever we tour, just because like every time he comes out I have a good night, just like because we hang, we talk about anime and like just chill. And so anyway, I've been playing with him, and good lord, that man gets like 10 kills a game at least. Like we played some to where he's like 20 kills a game. It's fucking stupid, but he's making me a better player, and I love it. But yeah, so anyway, it's kind of cool. We've got like a little crew of dudes that like now I guess I set up a Discord yesterday for everybody that like we've been running with, and it's been fun because like all the Call of Duties before I didn't have people to run all these with, and I just played free for all and just like slayed some people on that. Honestly, best at the one on Wii. I think that was World at War, but fucking dumb on that one. I think it was the MP40 or MP, yeah, anyway, but like the like first submachine gun you get, just waxing everybody and getting like 30 kills a game and only like 5 deaths. It was wonderful. But I think it's only children that play Wii.
Yeah,
so,
but I think that demographic is just fueled to them. But still, I mean, you still got kids talking shit on other servers.
Dude,
whether I didn't
I didn't realize, like, I got back on RuneScape, like, because Gulag is, a very upsetting thing, and while you're waiting to respawn, like, I try to help the dudes, but if I'm, like, getting really bored or something, I'll just play RuneScape, and, there's so much shit talking on there. Like, I did not realize how much shit talking RuneScape has, of all things.
Is it pre-chat or pre-game that's there's shit talking, and then it goes into the game as well? Like, it follows.
No, I'm not talking about Gulag. I'm talking about in RuneScape, like in game on RuneScape.
Oh
like,
my God.
Yeah, dude, I've had so many people just talking shit, and I've only like been playing it again for like 3 days, and I've been like just straight cussed out without saying a single fucking word like 4 times. It's so stupid, but it's kind of hilarious. I don't know. It's because it's just like a 12-year-old kid that just learned how to say swear words. So anyway,
my dad works for Xbox. You can't. I have your IP address. Like, shut up, kid. Like, you have no idea what you're talking about.
He ain't got shit.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I don't miss those days. Hey, can you hit this pitch? I can. I bet you can't. I bet you can't. Yeah, you know what I mean. Are you sponsored, bro? Are you sponsored by Rockstar? Who the fuck do you think you are? No, I don't know. Yeah. I miss those days. I mean, I play every so often. I hopped on that Apex movement, or whatever. But it's just now I'm really focused on. Well, like I said, when we were gonna start playing shows again and releasing music, now we have this going on. It's just crazy. So I guess Andrew's your honorary captain. It seems like.
Anthony, Anthony is for sure.
Or Anthony, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, it's all good. But for sure.
And you guys are you keeping up with any anime, like any new animes that are coming out? That you're stoked to see,
I haven't watched anything new. I hate like going into a show that's not finished, and so like I usually watch like some older stuff. Like right now, I'm just about through Hunter x Hunter.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think of what I watched before that. I don't even remember. It was a Gundam one. Iron-Blooded Orphan. Dude, one of the saddest shows I've ever seen, but it's so good. Yeah, it's not even really about the Gundam stuff. Like, it's all character development. It's wonderful. It's really good. The other dudes, I'm not really sure what they've been watching or anything. I know Dylan stayed busy, like, working on tuning and stuff and playing a bunch of... I think he's been playing... Probably Minecraft, but Rocket League. They've all been playing a lot of Rocket League, and I just can't get into that game.
Yeah, my boy is really good at Rocket League. Pat, he kind of helps me with this podcast. He actually really helps me a lot with this podcast.
Yeah.
What's up, dude? If he's watching, he's fucking good. Like, he's got that grand champion bullshit. Like, I can't do. Like, I can't physically try to play that game. It's hard.
Yeah.
Man. Like, I don't know how he does it. And he's starting to get it really following. If you guys want to check him out, if you're into Rocket League, it's Nduku. And UUKKU_.
Send the link because I'll send it to the dudes because they are all about it. Like Zach, he's been watching. Shit, what is that guy's name? The dude played our record on his stream the other day. It's gonna kill me. Noob, not noob. What's the another name for noob or something like that? Scrub Killer. Scrub Killer. Okay. Yeah, Scrub. Apparently, like that's one of his favorite dudes to watch, and right now he's like, so Scrub was, I think his team won last year, and then he left the team, and so right now he's like, not. Anyway, there's like some drama in the Rocket League world with that guy, and so it's interesting. I don't know. I don't keep up with it all, but Zach was telling me, and it was pretty funny.
That is pretty funny. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah. I was huge into the DBZ anime. Like I even the newer stuff is pretty good. I haven't kept up with it. There was one anime I really like because I enjoy it thoroughly, but I have to have someone introduce it to me and kind of summarize it before I get into it because it's just one of those things that I have a hard time concentrating in general when it comes to like watching movies or TV shows.
Dude, for sure.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's like these they're giants. And there's like a big wall. I can't remember.
Attack on Titan.
Fucking fantastic,
so good.
Dude.
So
fantastic.
good.
And I wish they actually came out with a movie for it, and it was going to be a live action, but I don't remember hearing anything about it. I feel like it just kind of disappeared. Right?
I don't know. I know the anime is not finished, and then like last season for it is supposed to be coming out either this year or next year, I think. But dude, it's so fucking good, and it's twisted. Like, are you like caught up with it completely?
No.
There's a lot
that I have to go over. Yeah.
Dude, you need to because the thing is like the like the very beginning, you see like all the Titans just like destroying everything, and like you're just like, where the fuck do these things come from? And they finally, like in the last season, they explained the whole thing, like
good.
just about.
Yeah.
And so like now they're gonna do something about it. But basically, like, so the thing is, like, as you remember, like everybody seems completely defenseless essentially, and like there's no way that they can fight against these giant things. But like now they understand it, and that's as much as I can really say without giving it away.
Yeah, maybe they can actually fight back for once. Because when I first saw the
Oh,
show,
they can.
yeah, good. Because that's the first time I've seen an anime where I was actually petrified of those creatures. Like my heart was racing. I'm like, oh, these are some goofy looking motherfuckers. Like
exactly.
Like no way.
Yeah.
This is real. This could happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna happen in real life.
And then like you start to see. I can't tell you that just in case you're not that far. Never mind. Sorry.
No, it's cool.
Dude, you got to catch up on it. It's seriously one of my favorites. It's so fucking good. It's so dark. I love it.
Yeah, we're gonna. My vocalist and my bandmates, they basically got me into it, and we were just watching it just in my apartment at one point, just like binge watching. I'm like, this is nuts. Like,
yeah,
I miss it. Yeah,
fucking wild.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Super. I haven't even caught up with that. I think because it's mostly on Crunchyroll. So like the advertisements, like I don't mind listening or sitting through a couple advertisements like Hulu or something. But Crunchyroll is fucking obnoxious. It's like every other, I think, like 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, ugh.
WCO Stream, I think, is well. There's like so many websites you can use, dude. Like Kiss Anime Freak, WCO Stream. Yeah, but if you look it up, you can watch them on there. You know, ad free and free. So
yeah, I want to check it out and everything. So that's just something I got to get into now that I have actually time to sit down and watch something. So when this album that you guys came out with, it's definitely a little bit experimental from your past stuff, from the post-hardcore stuff. I mean, you have a little bit of R&B and hip hop feel in the album in itself. Like that's really fucking cool, man. Like you guys really took out. It must have been like some kind of inspiration from elsewhere. I mean, I know you kind of revolved the lyrics around some of your personal situations at the time. How musically, like where did those inspirations come from? Like, because that's cool that you guys started, maturing. That a lot of artists have a trouble doing, whereas you guys kind of went forward with it. Like, this is what we're gonna do. This sounds great to us.
Thanks, man. Well, we kind of approached everything with a mindset of like we're just gonna write bangers, and we don't really care about like what genre it is. And so like I don't listen to rock, and I haven't in like. Dude, I don't even know how long, probably 6-7 years or something like that. But like I grew up listening, like one of my favorite records, like as a kid was Boyz II Men. I don't remember which one it is, but anyway, so like my dad and I, we just had like the tape in the truck, and we would just like put it on repeat and do harmonies and everything. And like that was part of my childhood. And so like that influence and everything, like that's just, that kind of stuff has stayed with me because that's still like my favorite genre of music, is that like just smooth, just like singer-songwriter or R&B like boy band group thing. Like just love that kind of shit. But going into it, we all just had the mentality that we were just going to write cool songs and didn't care what they would fit into as far as the genre, because we all just listen to different stuff. So as long as we all enjoy the parts, that's all that really matters. Because Dylan, like anything with a guitar, that's what he listens to. He likes guitar. He is a guitar guy. Like, so he likes metal and like dad rock, like Nickelback and stuff like that, or just shreddy stuff, like Jason Richardson. He's dick hard for that guy, of course.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, the guy from Trap really isn't, but I mean... Yeah. I don't think he's a fan of anybody. Did you see that tweet, by the way? I don't mean to derail the conversation. And Colin kind of like retweeted it, and I was just all hot. I was like, I can take you on a guitar battle. I was like, do you know who Jason Richardson is, first of all? He's on another fucking planet. Do not put yourself up for that.
I saw that tweet, and I immediately sent it to my dudes. I was like, yo, I don't like to listen to Jason Richardson, but I would love to see this. Like, that was one of my... dude, it would have been hilarious. But... Yeah,
just one
would
sweet.
have been awesome.
Yeah, so like you guys took that inspiration from, like you said, from different members. Like every member kind of put into this perspective of what they were inspired by musically. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's something you guys put into. And vocally, like, was it majority about real life events that was happening, like per se on tour, or
Well,
were there other examples that you could possibly like share to
well,
be specific?
so essentially this record was like everything past Back to Beautiful, because like Back to Beautiful is a time and space, like just like this one is. And so after that, you know, started writing songs, and it's just everything that's happened since then. You know, past that relationship that the first one was about, trying to date again and everything else. It was it's difficult getting back into all that now, because it's just like everybody's just consumed with the social media aspect, apps, and like all that shit. And it's a different world from whenever I like started date, like, because the other girl that the whole record was about, like, I dated her since high school, so I never had any of that kind of stuff and didn't understand like what dating culture is about, especially like in your mid 20s. And so it was just it was just a different world, man. And then of course part of it has to do with the fact that we didn't really start drinking until we became a band. And it was just one of those things to do socially. And we like, because we were all kind of against like any substance stuff in general whenever we were younger, even drinking, because a lot of us come from a background to where like my mother, for instance, had substance abuse problems, and some of the other dudes in the band, their family members have too. And so or they've like grown up around something similar. And so it's something that we didn't like mess with, but now it's just like, for some reason, whenever we drink, a few of us have trouble stopping, and so it gets a little far. And that's why there's some stuff in there about that. Like, okay, literally the whole song was just about me like having this weird thing while looking in the mirror, just kind of reevaluating my entire life, and that was not a good feeling. So yeah,
that's awesome. And you're able to put that into perspective through your music and get that message out there, which if it's, I don't know how you feel about it, but it's some musicians or bands, when they write their music, it was like, if this song could help one person, the job has been done. Like, yeah.
Oh, the thing is, like, that's a great viewpoint, but at the same time, like, I feel like as a person, like, that's an outlet, and so if it's not helping you to do that, then I think it's kind of pointless. Like,
yeah, you're absolutely
that
right.
seems weird to say and kind of like selfish, but I think that's just because, like, whenever I'm like in a weird headspace, like, I just kind of try to write and stuff just to get it out and to vent. So anyway.
Yeah, it's relatable though. I mean, people can relate to it. So when they read or listen or like hear you kind of explain like what's going through that, they can immediately relate and be like, man, I have a insight to what he's going through as well as I. But it might, everybody has a different lifestyle, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has different problems. Like, nothing is ever the same. I have like one of those things where I can't say like I know what you're going through. I don't really say that. You know what I mean? It's just like one of those things. It's like, I could try to understand the best that I can. However, I'm not gonna bullshit you and be like, it's okay. I know what you're going through. Some instances it's like small stuff like you can relate, but not say like, I've been in your shoes. I don't know. It just depends on the circumstance. But that's great to get that out there too, especially for you to put your words on paper and really express that. Like, that's really brave, man. Not a lot of people can do that.
Thanks, man.
With that kind of intent. So, I mean, what is going to be the next step for you musically? And now this album's released, and you kind of take a step back and watch it grow on the charts and kind of release it through this time. I mean, you're still writing lyrically with?
I mean, that's one of those things that you never really stop as a musician. You just see something that inspires you and take out your phone and put it in notes, and then come back to it later, see if it hits you in a different light, or just like find out what it was at the time. But I really want to release a country record next. I think I'm fucking with you, but anyway, I don't know. It's literally just like,
dude. You'll be like the next little Nas. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Hey, there we go. But no, dude, like, it's just whatever we're feeling. I don't think Picturesque really has much of a genre anymore. Like, it'll have guitar in it, and like drums, it'll still sound like a band, but it'll be whatever it is. Just like I said, we don't really ride around a genre anymore, so it's just whatever comes out, which sounds weird, but So I don't
I
know.
mean, not really. I mean, if you want to relate your different inspirations to colors in a sense,
Yeah,
they're blending together and it becomes
yeah,
something beautiful. I mean, that's how I look at it. You know what I mean? Like if you see a
thanks,
rainbow in the
man.
sky, it's like they're all different colors. Maybe you can compare that to different genres. It
Yeah,
still looks great, still sounds great. Like
yeah,
that's kind of how I put it into perspective. I just don't think it's weird. I just think experimental. I mean, like a perfect example for experimental musicians or a band like Enter Shikari, like their new album that they released is extremely experimental, but they've always been like that.
yeah.
And now that you guys are, growing as musicians and stuff, it seems like it's coming full circle, which is great
Yeah.
because not a lot of bands have that. Not a lot of bands have that compatibility to do it. It's just like sometimes there's like a roadblock. I mean, how like what like if you have a roadblock in writing in general, like whatever the song is, like how do you guys go about getting rid of that? Like, do you guys take a step back away from it and then move forward eventually?
There's different ways. One of my favorite ones was whenever we hit a roadblock writing the song Attention. I was tasked with finding the most ridiculous sound that I could on Splice, and
Fuck.
it
Okay.
became the bridge.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is just stupid sounding, but we're like, yo, that's kind of sick though.
Yeah. It's
And
kind of
so we just
catchy.
like wrote an entire part around it because it actually like, uh, I think it actually like there's a few notes in it that are out of key, but we just said fuck it because it sounded cool.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, we just kind of throw shit at the wall until something sounds cool.
Yeah. Until it sticks.
Like, and the thing is, whenever I'm writing, Zach helps me a lot with my roadblocks because so Zach kind of plays like the middleman between Dylan and I because Dylan is very far one way, I'm very far the other. Like all I listen to is pop, R&B, hip hop, that kind of stuff. Dylan is guitar guy, likes Nickelback and all this, and so Zach kind of like listens to a little bit of everything and kind of rides that middle line on blending it all together on what ideas could work together. But another thing that he does is whenever I hit a roadblock writing lyrically or anything like that, he's the dude I go to. It's just like, man, this is what I want to convey. How can like here are my lyrics? Like, what can I do to like make this a thing? And even if he doesn't give me like the actual lyric, just having that person to bounce things off to a lot of times will just help you like refresh your memory or like just like jog your brain on like different ways to approach stuff. And so like him and I work pretty closely together when it comes to all that, just because like we have a very like close relationship at this point, and there's nothing that either of us could say that's really going to like in a writing session to offend the other or anything like that, and it's just all on the table and we're comfortable in that sense. So he's my dude whenever I go to that kind of stuff. But as far as guitar and junk roadblock wise on this one, we hired Andrew Bayless on this record. He's a friend of ours from Cleveland. Cleveland, is that right? Yeah, Cleveland. He plays in a band that I can't remember the name of, Nine Trines. But essentially, he's a really good guitar player. But the majority of the stuff that he like writes and junk is like either metal or dad rock.
Mm-hmm.
But like some of the riffs he makes are pretty cool, and so like we'll bounce ideas off of him for that kind of stuff, which came out pretty crucial whenever we were writing. And yeah, so
Yeah, that's pretty.
those are a few of the sources for trying to get over those hurdles.
It's communication's key. That's one of the things I kind of learned growing up in this industry. I mean, if any aspiring musicians are listening to this or viewing this on YouTube, it's something that you have to fucking have, man. If you don't have that communication, I don't think you're going to be able to get to the next step. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just something that you gotta kind of take it all in and then make sure that with how you want to portray your music or your lyrics into the song that they're writing. Just make sure that they're on the same page as well. Until like if there's no communication there, you're gonna get something completely different. Like that's not what I'm fucking talking about. And it's just
Yeah.
like a whole fucking process and stuff. I don't know. You guys been on tour plenty of times. I mean, you guys were touring with Hands Like Houses and stuff. Like how was that tour? I mean, it looked like a pretty sick tour, to be honest.
Dude, it was really fun. And the thing is, those dudes are some of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet. Dude, I love them. But we didn't really know what it would be like going into it because they haven't toured the U.S. in a long time, and yeah, it was I don't know. It was just like we didn't really have an idea of what it was going to be like. It was a lot of markets we hadn't played, but it turned out really well. Like we did really well in merch. Hands dudes were awesome. I keep wanting to call them Sleepwave, but that's not right.
Seaway?
No, the other band on tour. I called them Sleepwave the whole fucking tour. It's Cove's other band. God damn it.
I'll tell you in a second. But God, keep going.
Anyway, those dudes were awesome too. I just can't for the life of me. Sleep.
I met them on Warped Tour in 2017 when we were on for 11 days, and I loved their stage presence because they
Which band?
No, Hands Like Houses. They
had
incense going on, just really fucking nice dudes. Like they had incense going, they had these like rugs down. None of them were wearing shoes.
Yeah.
I talked to them for a little bit. Like, you want to play soccer with us? I was like, I can't really fucking play soccer. Like, I'm sorry, but I joined with them for a little bit. They were really good. Like really good. It says with supports of Dead American.
Dead American. I was way off. Why did I keep wanting to call them Sleepwave?
I don't know, dude. I'm doing the same thing. Trust me. Also, let's tell the viewers know you're basically up until 5 o'clock in the morning streaming. So
yeah, I woke up like 2 hours ago or something.
Yeah, fuck, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was like 2 or 3.
Yeah, so, it's hard, man. Like my whole schedule's been shot. Like I basically got laid off for work, but I'm going back into work soon, which is good. Thankfully, I got that opportunity. But I was pushing for jobs and stuff. But it's just, what are you gonna do? It's just one of those things you have to roll with the punches in these times. That looked like a good tour though. Like is there any tours that you kind of like specifically pitched to the label or your booking agent? Like, hey, is there any way we can like get with these guys? Like, I don't know, like Circa, for instance. Like, is there any way you guys kind of tried to?
I know we pitched for one of those before with Circa, but I don't know. I kind of just go where I'm told.
What about Nick Jonas? You trying to tour with him?
I would love to fucking tour with Nick Jonas. Don't get me started.
Yeah, that's my fucking dude. No, I'm gonna get you started because that dude's a goddamn fucking American hero. That's what
he is. He's a beautiful human being, and anything he does is wonderful. But maybe they can start pitching for that one. I mean, I guess I'll take the Jonas Brothers if I have to take them along too.
I mean, if you have to.
But
worst case, bro.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But that would be sick. But as far as like bands that we could reasonably tour with, like I said, I don't listen to like the genre of music that we're closely integrated with. It's like the Warped Tour scene. The last band that I sort of listened to the last band that I listened to was like Chase Atlantic, which I don't see how that's like a Warped Tour scene. And then that's really it. So Don Broco was pretty cool. My dude's like they're really into them. And they were really good on Warped, but
I found them out in a very odd way. But I really liked their one album. I don't remember.
Automatica,
probably that hooked me. I was like, whoa, what the hell is this? Like, the electronic poppy stuff to it, like really fucking brought me into it.
It's still bandy, but it's like it's catchy as fuck, and those dudes are super talented.
Yeah, super talented. It was Automatic. I saw them with DGD, Periphery, Hail the Sun, Covet, when they did that tour. That was a good tour. But did you guys go with Don Broco?
I mean, they were on Warped, but that's it.
Okay.
Got to watch them on that, which was cool.
Did you guys play Warped?
Yeah, we played it in the last full run.
The 2018. I figured that. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but we only did up till Nashville. We did the west coast of Nashville.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did Midwest 2017 from Indiana all the way down to Texas. It was 11 days, 10 shows, but it was cool that it was an honor for Kevin putting us on with the sponsorship of Skull Candy because of the fact that we're underground and even playing first or second as the tour opens, like people are still watching you. Like I was like, what the fuck? Like dude, so many cool stories.
One of our best shows that we had was literally as the tour was opening the gates. They set up in St. Louis. The whatever stage we're on was right by the gate. And so as soon as it opened, we were the first thing that everybody saw. And so we had a really good crowd that day just because we were the first band that they saw. I had already done all the flyers that day, which literally only had to cover one area because we needed them to stay right there because we were the first band. So
right near the blow up time timesheet or the time slot?
No, we were
No?
closer than that though. Like gates opened and we were right there. Like you could see us from the line, like where they were standing. And so like,
fuck yeah.
yeah, so like everybody heard us that day. It was awesome. But I took literally every spot on the stage that we were at. I'm sure that pissed a lot of people off, but it was whatever for that day.
Whatever, man. Yeah, for that moment, you have to do that. I mean, there was a couple days where we had that too, where we're at the front gates, and like our vocalist Kevin and you. I mean, you have a higher range than he does, but once you hear something pretty, it's like, whoa, dude! Like this is. I'm gonna I'm gonna stand here for a little bit and watch these guys. And they're like, "What time is your What time's your what do they call them?
Your set?
What time? No, what time's like your signing? Like what time do you guys have a signing?" And I'm like, "We don't have a time. We're a local band from New Jersey that's 4 months old. How are you?" Like or something like that. So I mean, we were older than 4 months. I think we were like 7 months or whatever. But that was an opportunity that it was good for the bands, like, you know, no matter what your tier is, those bands fucking thrive no matter where they put you.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that, like, how Kevin set it up.
Yeah.
And he's doing something. Listen, I couldn't get it out of him, but he's doing for something 2021 in spring. Cool. So it's got to be, if it's not warped, and he said something, he replied to somebody on Twitter. So if anybody's really stoked about it, like he's going to be doing something. So
I doubt it's cross country. It'll probably be like how he did last year with
2019 with the festivals.
Yeah, just like a handful of them, like 3 of them or something.
Yeah.
That's my guess, but
that's the new way these massive shows are going, is with these festivals.
Yeah.
Have you guys played a lot of festivals at all?
Not like, I don't want to say not real festivals because that's a slap. But like we did a run in October last year. That was a quote festival run. It was it ended up being like trying to remember who all was on it. It was Slaves, Outline and Color. That's all I remember. Yeah. Varsity? No, that was just the guy from Varsity that was there. Yeah, I don't remember the bands. But anyway, it was like up in New York. There were a few of them. It was a fun run. Oceana played one of them. And Soft Spoken, which are dudes from Kentucky. They were at the second one, which was cool.
Were you guys always having like a very healthy local scene in Kentucky? I've never really played in Kentucky, so I really don't know. Jersey's pretty big with local scenes.
None of us grew up here, so
okay.
Yeah, we played like maybe 4 shows before we started touring. As far as I know, they have a good scene. But I live over in Louisville, and apparently like Lexington is where all these bands are coming out of, which we claim Lexington, but all live in Louisville now, which is fucking dumb. So I don't know.
It's a major city. I don't know.
Yeah,
one of the major cities.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't even think Jersey has a major city. Like I tell people, I can tell people I'm from so and so Pennsylvania, but I usually just say Philadelphia.
I thought all of Jersey is just one big city.
Yeah, Jersey is just one.
It's just like Southern New York or something like that, and that just what it is, just like Southern NYC.
Yeah, it's the armpit of New York.
Yeah, there you go.
Dirty Jersey, man. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's cool though. I mean, the album that you guys released, I mean, it chopped the number 12 in the alternative hits, which is fantastic. You guys are having great numbers. How was that with going through the recording process before I ask you a couple other things, but how was that recording process going, considering the fact that, like, was it a producer that you guys have always had? I mean, did that producer have a major influence on the record? Like, how did you guys go about that recording process? I
would say he did, as far as composition.
That's pretty cool.
And as far as, like, some of the programming parts and, because the thing is, whenever we brought him in, like, we did basically a test run with him with Prey, because he like messaged us. I'm going to back up a little bit. So there was a record that he did that Zach was really into, that was for a band that was from Kentucky, XXI, which was really good. Basically they went from being a metal band to being like this rock band that just like, the songs are really fucking good. And it was recorded and mixed all in this dude's basement. Like, nothing in it is real or anything. It's like all just computer simulation bullshit. And so that record was really good. and Zach reached out to him at one point, or he reached out to us. I don't remember, but essentially Andrew was like, "Yo, come do a free song with me." We're like, we need a mid-cycle single. What's the worst that could happen? Like, we send off stems if it's sick and get somebody else to mix it, or like we don't like it and don't use it. But we went, recorded it. The team was stoked on it. Did Pray, came out, and everybody was really excited about that song. So we're like, all right, well, this guy is like literally just a dude in his basement. Not like, he records full time, but it's like nobody big, and maybe like we can get him on the come up for cheap. All this junk. And so we started working with him more and more. We're just like, you know what? We'll do the record with you, but we're going to rent a studio. And so our first drummer that we had, Cole, ever since he left the band because he had a kiddo and wife to take care of and all that, he's like, yo, but I want to be able to like still do music and stuff. And he was like, I'm going to learn to record. And hopefully by like your third record, I'll be good enough to record you guys. And since it took so long for us to put out another one, we're like, yo, we're going to have Andrew come in, but we're going to come record with you. But one of the stipulations was kind of funny because we were like, at the time, he didn't have like a vocal mic that I liked. And I was like, yo, if you go pick up this mic, we'll come record with you. And he went and got it. I don't know if that really had anything to do with it, but I like to think it does.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm a little bougie like that. But so then we just went down there, and Cole helped produce drums, and then Andrew just came down and helped with a lot of the accompaniment and everything. And as far as vocals go, Andrew did some of it, but it's one of those things like there's a weird vibe going into recording vocals that sometimes, like, I don't know, it was just weird. And so like the last bit of it, he had to go back to Ohio, and Zach and I finished recording the rest of the vocals with just him and I. Cole tracked some of them, but essentially Zach would help me produce it, and I would just do the takes until we got it right. And so, yeah.
Fuck yeah. And then, like, he's not like restructuring music, but he's helping you with like those parts that need to be implemented, like the hip hop stuff or like the electronic stuff that you wanted to
Are you talking about Andrew or Zach?
The producer that you went to.
Oh yeah. Yeah, essentially that's okay. It. Like he got what we were going for, just because he's worked with, like he mostly plays like butt rock or whatever you want to call it, but as far as like what he listens to and stuff, like he listens to a lot of the same kind of shit I do apparently. And anyway, he got what we were going for. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so it turned out.
Yeah, I'm sure structurally, Zach, like obviously, you know, as a band member, like can put that into perspective too. Like,
yeah,
intro, chorus, bridge.
Well, it's not even that kind of structure. It's just like it's like the layers of bullshit and like where we need to drop out stuff and like because the songs were mostly done when we went in. There were a few things that we needed to touch up, and like attention was one of them to where we were like, man. Like, we've got this song, but it's like, it's cool, but it needs something and we can't figure it out. And then, like, he got this, like, cool, or not that, sorry, that's the other thing. I don't know, the thing in the chorus that's like, it's like a synth thing in there and, like, helped us with that kind of shit. And then he knows what we like as far as that kind of stuff goes because we, like, the dirtier and grungier it sounds, the cooler it is to us. And so basically there's this plugin called Decapitator, and we just put that on everything, which is fun. But yeah, so he got what we were doing, and yeah.
Yeah, that's
cool. I answered it. I don't know.
Yeah, you did. No, you did. It's just one of those things that I always love to have that that relationship with the producer, like they're an extra band member. You want to make sure that you're really fucking on the same key with everything, because if not, it can really turn into not turn anything bad, but I've had a couple of experiences where we recorded a couple singles and then we're like, he wasn't really understanding what we were doing, so we had to just throw him away. You know what I mean? Like,
whenever you guys went in with like that kind of producer, did they kind of just have like I don't want to say like the power for something, but like basically what they said went, and you guys couldn't like go against it type of thing? Like, I'm trying to explain how, like, what to say with that.
The quality of his production was phenomenal.
Well, it's not that. I'm talking about like with the songs or like parts themselves, like Kitty. Sorry, distraction. There's a cat walking by the window and it's just chilling. But yeah. But anyway, so like if you guys like wrote a part and he just hated it or whatever, like did you guys have to yank that kind of stuff out? Or like if there was like a melody you were really stuck on, would he just like veto it and be like, no, you can't do that and this is what we're going to do type of thing? Or
there was sometimes where we had that, or there would be sometimes where we would kind of put a lick into a verse or something. Like, we have a couple options here. What do you feel is best? And he's like, whatever you feel is best. I'm like, and it was very dry, like that answer. I'm like,
okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it was one of those things, like, I kind of want your personal opinion, but then there were sometimes he would involve himself with the vocals, like, hey, do this, do that, in an opinion, and then be like, and then he's like, I don't know what to do here, and then it's like, what? Like,
it sounds like he gave up too quick. Like,
yeah, it was strange.
Really, yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But you know, it happens, and then like it wasn't like a huge take away from our budget, but we just like found someone else, which was a really quick relationship. I was like, fuck yeah, this guy's our guy now. Yeah. Now we finally have our guy. That's why we test the waters, do a couple singles, like I don't know.
Yeah,
and then we'll just
gonna do this.
There's really good demos. Social media, let's go.
Yeah.
So are you taking fans? You said earlier, I think you're taking fans into Twitch and you're playing with them, right?
Yeah.
How did they go about that? Just so they can know.
Oh, just get on my Twitch and type something in there and say you want to get into the next game or something. I essentially let like people play like one or two and then bounce around. Sorry, that was really rude of me, but I was just wanting to post it on my story so people come hang out.
No, you're good, dude. Yeah, we're just doing our chilling thing.
But yeah, so basically they just come in there and like just send a message. I actually have like a spam thing with my Activision account so they can add me too. So yeah, but of course you have to sit through the spam of, hey, new record out, go listen to it. Well,
yeah, that's okay. I mean, you know, that's how you got to go about it playing. You know, I mean, like, it's hard to get into anything that you want to collaborate with other people on stream. Like, if you want to play in a couple of rounds with them, it's really hard to get on anyways. So, I mean, whatever the steps are to take, I'm sure. I mean, I'm just gonna hit you up, dude. You know,
go for it.
I got Warzone. Let's go.
Yeah, go for it. I'll probably be on after this. Ooh, no, I'm kidding. But yeah, just hit me up, man. I'm down. Yeah, we've got quite a group that we play with now. So like a bunch of different dudes. But it's going pretty well. We've got a few dubs. For some reason, last night all we could get was second like 4 times, which was annoying. But yeah, it was dumb.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I wanted to make sure so that anybody can, if they want to play and join in, they can.
Oh yeah.
But I appreciate you coming on, man. This was pretty fucking cool. I mean, I love the album. I don't know what's gonna happen to our industry next until this pandemic kind of just subsides. Hopefully, it's not too long because we need to get back on the road playing.
Yeah.
The thing that we fucking love to do instead of like just sitting inside and. You know, we can only write so many songs. We can only, you know, do so many things before we just really want to play the stage again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy. But like I said, I really appreciate your time and everything. I'll talk to you a little bit once I end the stream, which is going to end in a couple of seconds. But
yeah.
I'm gonna have this stream. It's gonna be posted in all streaming platforms, audio wise, Apple Music, Google, Spotify. Podcasts, and we're just going to go on YouTube probably in about a week or so if anybody's interested in taking part of that content. So I appreciate it, brother. We're gonna I want to talk to you a little bit after this, and congratulations again on the album.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me, my dude.
All right, guys. I'll see you around.
Later.